That was a weird noise. All the ice in the bottom of my cup just floated up, and it was like doo 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 doo. I thought my desk was getting ready to fall apart. So anyway, welcome to the show. It's Sunday night, everybody. We are at Russ Explode Studios. I'm going to be sharing a few of these shares out real quick while I name off our awesome list of sponsors. So we've got Brink and Fetch from Mike and Trish Bankston. Please check that project out. It's only got 10 days left. We're trying to hit all those stretch goals. So please go check out Brink and Fetch. We also have Codex Entertainment LLC with Luis Torres. Please check out his website and everything that is listed above in the description. Everything I'll be naming off is listed above in the description, so you can go check it out later or now or whenever you wish. And Codex Entertainment can bring you Lily the Demoness, Whispers in Necropolis, Ace and Starlet, Nebula Pearl, and VRXOXO, which will be launching issue 2 here shortly. We also have 183 Degree Studios with Alfred Trujillo. Doobie Doobie Doo. Please check out their awesome stuff at 183degreestudio.com, as well as their Patreons and their Project Unstable Frequencies just funded, yes, 2 days ago, something like that. So you guys missed out on it if you didn't get in. And we also have Naughty Fairies. Please check out Naughty Fairies at the Etsy link listed. Get caught up on all the awesome books that Wendy has to offer. Naughty Fairies Con 3.0 just rocked the world and ended at the end of January. So super excited to get those books and check them out. So get caught up and go check out those awesome books. We also have Melone Management with Lisa Malone. Please check out all the great stuff that she has to offer. You can get a free 1 hour consultation if you have any type of crowdfunding project, something that you want to get promoted out there. She can take care of all the legwork for you while you keep working on your awesome projects, whether it's an Indiegogo, a Kickstarter. She can let you know what her services are during that 1 hour consultation. We've got Bad Kerry Studios with Stefan Papadopoulos Wilson and Carrie Ann. Please check out the awesomeness of the sketchbooks that he has available at stephwilsonart.com. And he also has original art available on there if you want to check that out too. We are also sponsored by Dustin Poppins with DPopp Customz. Do you have a print that needs to be jazzed up? Hit him up. He can tell you what kind of stuff he can do for it. Light up frames, flames that dance to music, and all that coolness. We got Outpost 426 Studios with CB Zane and Michael Shoemaker. Check out BlackRabbit, which is live right now. There's only a few days left on it, so if you don't know what that is, hit up the links above. Go check out BlackRabbit and all the greatness that it has to offer. We also have Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. We had two pieces that were up that ended tonight, and nobody bid on them. It's insane. So we got this beautiful piece here that I need to redo because I was showing off the COA last night, so I have to reset it in the frame. We had the Lady Death print with the COA with Elias Chatzadis, and we also have this super sweet Thomas Fleming Purgatory. That was number 269 out of 600. So if anybody's watching, I'll show these off tonight. Hopefully we can try to get one of these sold and make some money for the kids. And we also have Fartoons Productions from Rye Guy. My cats are going crazy back there, knocking everything over. So if my banner falls on me, please send help. So we got Rye Guy with Fartoons Productions. You can check out all his cool stuff in the link above. He does animated series and all kinds of cool stuff. So without further ado, we're gonna bring up the guest tonight. We've got Michael Gonzalez.
Yo,
What's
yo, yo,
happening?
what's up?
What's going on, man? We're gonna rock it tonight. We're gonna talk about some cool stuff. We're gonna tell some
Rocket,
crazy
rocket, rocket,
stories.
rocket, rocket.
And we're going to talk about the inspirations. We're going to talk about the guy behind Rainy Road Comics and all the cool stuff you have to offer. You got this new project coming out here in March, right?
I haven't picked an exact date yet, but it would be sometime March, April.
Okay. So we got the preview link. Excuse me. We're going to be sharing that out so people can go in and check that out. I'm going to paste it in right now so you guys can go check that out. I'll be posting it throughout
Check
the
it
night.
out. Check it
Check
out.
it out, guys. Go check out that link. Read that link, click on it, go check out the project, see what you like, see what you don't like, offer suggestions, and all kinds of good stuff like that. I'm going to share this out a little bit while we talk about who you are. How did Rainy Road Comics come to be?
It came to be when I was living in China. It's I think it's about like 2013. I was just working as a mechanic, motorcycle mechanic, mainly working with sport bikes, racing bikes, stuff like that. And but I didn't really have a whole lot of work, so I would just like sit around pretty much the whole week, not doing anything. And so I figured I need to do something with this spare time, and I figured like let's pick up writing. It is something that I kind of given up for about like 10 years, but then I was just like, it's the kind of thing it comes back, no matter what. So I found out about how easier it was to like put together a comic book, because now with the internet and websites like Comixology, you could find artists all over the world. You could pay them with PayPal or whatever, and you could put it up on Comixology and everything. You don't have to worry about any cost for printing. You just have to worry about the cost for the artist and stuff. So I figured let's give it another shot, and so that's kind of how it all started.
And one of the things I love the most, sorry, I was sharing out a bunch of places. One of the things that I love the most about this is not only the fact that, you got back into comics, you had this time, sitting around that you're like, hey, I'm gonna try to get back into this again, but you also brought your daughter in on the passion of making comics by doing her own special little mini comic that you kind of, put in with each Kickstarter that you do. So you got
Yes,
your older books that you're going to be adding onto this campaign. You've got Neotheric. You've also got the 6/8
yes.
comic book that you've done, and then the other one that for some reason I can't think of the name of it that you
Book
just
of
did.
Legend.
Book of Legend. Thank you
Yes.
very much. I'm like sitting here going, my brain's like, smoke's gonna start pouring out of my ears because for the life of me, I had it somewhere here. I'm in the middle of redoing my studio and putting shelves in and organizing stuff because who knew organization was a good thing. And so I'm like, where did all these books go? I'm like, I know I got it here somewhere. Now I got all these goofy, stuff pool paintings I got to ship out that I've been doing. So sorry, somebody's texting me and it blew me up. I gotta turn my notifications off, or it's gonna freeze my phone up. There we go. All right. So tell us a little bit about Gun Engine Zero. How you came, into this project. What inspired the story behind Gun Engine Zero?
Well, it's a couple of things. The main thing was I always wanted to do something that was kind of like in the spirit of 70s, the late 70s, like early 80s sci-fi. It was a big thing with, especially like the Japanese, like superhero kind of sci-fi, the cartoons and stuff. Like watching when I was a kid, it was big. I mean, going all the way back to like Mazinger, Ultraman, um, Super Sentai, which was what Power Rangers was before it became Power Rangers, and Robotag, Gundam, Battle of the Planets, Gotcha Man, all that kind of stuff is, to me, that stuff like was really, I was really really into that kind of stuff. So I always wanted to do something that had that sort of aesthetic to it, or the kind of a feel to it. And I eventually came up with this idea. Originally came from, I was thinking of, if I could ever like pitch to Marvel to become a writer for Marvel, what what could maybe I do? And I had read that Mark Millar, one of the things that he did when he was trying to get in at Marvel was he took like these C and D characters that they weren't really using, and he wrote up little treatments or proposals for those characters, because he figured if they're not using them, then maybe they'll give me a chance to use them in something, in like a whatever, a short or something, or a mini series or something. So I thought, okay, well, maybe that's a good idea. I'll try that. So I thought back, what characters did I really like that they had that they weren't using anymore? And I remembered, like when I was a kid, one of them was Rom Space Knight. I don't know if you remember that book.
Yep.
He's all like chrome kind of looking thing, and he's got like this couple weapons and stuff that like come out of, they like appear out of nowhere or whatever. I can't remember what the whole thing is with it. But anyway, so I remember that I thought about that, and I was like, and then I was this is when I was in China, and I got some digital copies of the original series just to read and see like what try to remember like what the character was really about, like what was the whole thing about, because I just had like a vague memory of it. And the more I read it, I was like, wow, this is kind of silly. It was like he comes down to Earth, and this girl crashes into him in her car, and she basically falls in love with him. And he's like this big giant dude, and like he's like a robot kind of thing. So I thought it was a little bit goofy, but so when I thought of it, when I was thinking about, okay, what would I do with this? I said I would like reboot it, and it would be like really completely silly. It would be like totally absurd, all this kind of goofy stuff to it. Um, and this is before I found out that IDW had already rebooted ROM and had their own like series and stuff with it. So
Yeah.
so I just kind of, just wrote down some ideas, like an outline, a synopsis, and all this kind of stuff, and I just kind of set it aside. And then later on, I thought, well, obviously, I'm never going to work for Marvel. What am I even doing, wasting my time with this? But maybe all of these ideas that I've come up with, maybe I can sort of pivot a little bit and then make this into my own character. Take some of the elements and then make it a unique, original character. So that's what I did, and I steered it away. It's not so absurd and silly as my original idea that I had. It's a little more serious, but there is like some comedy. There's action adventure. There's melodrama. All the kind of things that you would see in the old like Japanese cartoons. They would mix everything. It wasn't just action. It wasn't just melodrama. They would have put all this stuff together, and so that's how I kind of came up with how it all started, and then just kept working on it and working on it, and then trying to fine tune it. And it's took about like 5 years to develop this idea, and the character design itself took like 3 years with like 5 different artists. So I've been working on this quite a while. While I've been doing the other things like Neotheric and 6-8 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I apologize for disappearing. I was trying to find my ash can of Gun Engine Zero, which is available. You guys, that link that's in the comments, that is a preview link for this Kickstarter. Michael is looking for suggestions, your comments, your takes on this. I just want to reiterate that for anybody that's watching this back or that's joining in now. Um,
yeah, it's a
he's
work in
looking for people
progress.
to check this. Huh?
The campaign is a work in progress. So whatever they
It's a work in
see
progress.
is it's not set in stone. So I'm trying to get feedback from people, see, because this campaign is the big one. It's the ones I did last year, which is the books were already printed. I mean, they were already made. I was just trying to get money to get them printed. This one is I don't have enough money anymore to self fund these things, and this is a big series. It's going to be at least 7 issues. Damn it, sorry. It's going to be at least 7 issues, and each this first issue, and I'm sure all of them, is going to be at least like $4,000 to do the one issue. That's the minimum that I need to get it done, and I can't spend that kind of money on a book. And then if I can't sell it, if I can't make that money back, I'd probably get stabbed in my heart when I'm sleeping at night by my wife. So so this is a big thing for me. I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure that this campaign is successful, to set it up for success. And so that's why I was hoping to go around to different podcasts and things to show this around to people and get feedback and see like what would they want to see, what would they want if they were thinking about backing it and saying, oh, I don't like this, but maybe you should do this and that. So I'm open to anything. I'm receptive, and I would love for people to give me some feedback.
Yeah, and another thing I'll do too is I'll shop around the link on my page and on my personal page, so everyone that if they happen to not see this video or something happens, I'm gonna shop this around, guys. If you see that link floating around, click on it, check it out. Direct message Michael. Please don't be in it, you know, hey, adding a bunch of comments or anything, and then people get into arguments over stuff. So if you have your personal suggestions, please message them over to Michael. Please be professional about it, and just let him know. Say, hey, I see this. I don't, this isn't a good idea. This is why, or I think you should add this. This is a good idea, and give backups to why you think it's a good thing, because this is a big deal. The other stuff was already made up, was ready to rock. This isn't. And this is something that he needs to make enough money to be able to get the initial print run, get these books out to you guys so you can enjoy it. Now, what percentage of the book is done so far as art wise?
Well, I paid the penciler is Ian Wariento. The colorist is Anton Bandy. They both work together on The Mighty Mascots, which is the book published by Alterna Comics. It's Keith Gleason's book. And they did the first 6 pages. So I paid them to do the first 6 pages so I could use that as a teaser to, as like a proof of concept or whatever. And you can see like their art style, the flow of the pages, everything, how it's all going to be represented. They've also done like the character you see on the campaign page. I've got like all the characters. They did like, some character sketches and stuff like that. And the first issue is 24 pages. So I've got 6 of the 24 that's done. I'm not good at math, so I don't know what percentage that is.
So
But
you got 25% of the art of the book is done. You got pencils, you've got colors. So 25% of that is done. You got 100% of the story done. So basically,
yeah,
I'm just trying to, make it transparent to the people that are coming back and watching this, or the people that are watching right now to, know how much of the project is finished and what we're looking for as far as the timeline, to get the rest of the art for the book done. So basically, we're 25% done. This is going to be raising the money to finish the art for the pages and get the books printed and out to all you guys. And like I said, I do have the Ash can. I read it. I enjoyed it. Now, if you click on that link, you can go check out the story as well as the pages colored. So now not only is it an Ash can, it's a colored one. And he's offering some cool stuff on this. So you also will be offering 6/8, which I want to give you a little bit of time later on. We'll talk about 6/8. We'll talk about Neotheric. That way, people have an idea and a concept of once the project goes live. Hey, I want to get Gun Engine Zero, and I want to add this book on because I love dinosaurs. With Neotheric, or you've got your gore thriller, 6/8. You got that scary killer vibe going on, and that way people know what they're looking for. And you also have your daughter's book also.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, once I started doing this, and they saw me working on stuff, they would come in here and see me working on stuff, and and I've taken them to cons a bunch of time, and it took forever for them to really get into comic books. They just weren't interested in the beginning. Like in the beginning when we lived down in Savannah, and I took my daughter. This is before my son was born. I took my daughter to a comic shop, and Alterna had a bunch of like kid friendly sort of books when they first started with the newsprint. And there was one that's called Lilith Dark, and I took her to the thing and said, "Hey, do you want this or do you want that?" And a couple of them, she was like, "No, I'm not interested." But I got that one book for her just to, say, "Hey, just take this, just read it. I think you'll like this." So she did. She read it and she liked it, and she was like, "Where's the next one? Where's the other one? I want to read the other one." But it still took a little while. But now, when we go to a comic store, if they go inside with me, they'll run like right to the kids section and start looking. And just yesterday, we went down to Greenville, and there was store down there called Borderlands, and they were having like a big sale. Like everything in the store was on sale, like 25% off or whatever. So I made like a day trip out of it, and we went down there, and my daughter picked up a bunch of books like My Little Pony. She's gotten into like My Little Pony, and they're into like Pokemon stuff too. They got a bunch of cards.
Oh yeah, my son and my daughter are into Pokemon, and that's the cool thing that I loved about Agents is,
Yeah,
she created her own Pokemon card, which is really cool.
yeah, yeah. I figured it was like kind of a cool little thing to add because They just like the art. I mean, they don't know anything about like how you actually play the game or anything. I don't
They
either.
just like collecting the art cards.
Yeah, they just like the art. And like my daughter will take them home and then she'll like practice drawing the whatever the character is on the card. So she's got tons of this stuff that she's drawn and things like that. But and now my son has made like 5 or 6 of his own little mini comics. He'll take like a little, like regular writing paper and like notebook paper, and he'll come into my room and he'll grab like 5 or 6 sheets of paper, and then he'll draw with a crayon, and tell of his own story, and he'll bring it to me and he'll bring the stapler and he'll say, here, staple this, and I staple it, and he tells me this what the story is, everything, and then he asked me for like the comic bag. He said, I need one of those plastic bags to put it inside to keep it safe. So I put all of his comics in there. So now he's got like 5 or 6 of like his own little comics. But so he's kind of also gotten into it too. But yeah, my daughter is doing. She's working on the third book right now, doing the artwork for it. Hopefully, she'll be done with it pretty soon. And
I'm sorry, my co-host is being rude.
he just wants to join the conversation. He's
She's like,
like,
"What's up? We
meow.
talking about Pokemons? I'm a Pokemon. I know Stink Pot because I blow the house up." She's like freaking trying to give me kisses. I've been gone all day, so this is my lover, Savannah. She's very
Oh,
needy. She needs lots of lovins, and she just managed to. I guess I didn't shut the door all the way. She pushed her way in here, and now she wants daddy time. So I apologize for her showing off her butt. Oh, we're just gonna lay down. That's cool. So anyway, so yeah, no, I love it. So tell everyone about Agents of and and what it's all about because you were up to issue four,
it's 3. She's
three,
working on
three.
issue
That's
3
right.
right now. She's done the first two. The first two are completed. We sold them. We had them on the last campaign last year, so we'll have them again. Hopefully she'll have the third one done by this campaign starts. So we'll have 3 issues. So basically, it's kind of like it's just like kind of a silly kids thing. Not like silly, like stupid, but like having fun
Yeah.
kind of kids thing. Where it's I don't know if people know like the PBS show. It's called what is that called? It's almost like a X Files, but for kids. And I'm having a brain fart right now. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's kind of like a goofy sort of like the kids are like these secret agents in this
Oh, I
government
know what you're talking about. My kids
agency.
watch that.
I don't know why I can't remember the name
I
of it.
can't think of the name of it either.
Odd Squad.
Odd
It's called
Squad. There you go.
Odd
Yep.
Squad. So it's kind of like something like that. There's elements of like that. There's elements of like the jokes and stuff, kind of like Captain Underpants,
Yeah.
Dog Man, all these kinds of things. Um, so basically, what it is like these 3 characters are agents for this agency called Shh. It's SHH, but they say Shh. And so the whole thing revolves around this idea that on Earth there's all these different mystical objects that have all these kinds of strange magical powers, and these the bad all these different bad guys want to get these things so that they can do bad things. But these things, they're just things, so they can be used either for good or for bad. And that's kind of what the heart of the story is. The lessons of the story is like you can use this either for good or for evil. It depends on you, not on the thing. So like in the first one, there's a guy, he finds this magical flower, and he uses it to create this ray that causes these penguins to grow to like colossal size, and they just rampage around the city destroying stuff. So these agents have to go and stop him. They stop him and they get the thing, and the guy's like, okay, let me just change this little thing around, and then we'll shrink the penguins back down. But when he does it, it actually makes the penguins even bigger. So it gets worse. So then they have to figure out like how do we do it to make them so they get it and to get the penguins back to normal and save the day and everything. And then they take the thing and they put it in like their little museum where they keep everything safe, kind of like at the end of Indiana Jones, you know, where he takes the Ark of the Covenant and he puts it in the museum and stuff. So they keep everything safe in their little thing, and that's kind of what each issue is about. Is you know you find somebody's using this something for evil, and they got to stop them, and then get the thing, and then you know put it in a safe place, lock it away in a safe place. So there's you know a little humor, and um, she draws it entirely by herself. um, I just made up like little templates, you know, printed out little templates so she can have the panels and stuff like that and know the size and everything. And she draws it out by hand, and then we scan it into the computer, and then I do the coloring. But I've also been teaching her how to do the coloring and the lettering, and you know, so she can do the whole thing herself. And then we just print it out here, and then put it together, and that's it. And then we also have the little Pokemon style cards that kind of go along with the story. So, like I said, each story has like a thing that they're trying to get, and that thing will be on the Pokemon card, Pokemon style card.
The mythical items.
Yeah. So that's
And she's not what, 9 years old, or is she 10 now?
yeah. She just turned 10 last month.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right. I
I
was gonna
mean
say I thought
December.
she had a birthday, so I was gonna say she's 10 years old, and she's on her third issue of her comic, her third Pokemon card. She writes and draws this herself, and that's a great accomplishment because not only are you cranking out books with Rainy Road Media yourself, you're also inspiring your daughter to get into comics. She's making her own comics and having fun with it, and that's great because you guys can bond together over it. And like you said, you guys went to Borderlands and these comic shops, and they had sales going on, and now she's getting into comics, which, now you guys can nerd out together. Because it's hard to get your kids into comics. Some of them, my
Right.
daughter's just kind of like, about it. My son's all in. He's like, oh man, Spider-Man. And he sees all these books rolling in, and he's like, oh, Dad, what's that? Can I sit down and read that with you? I'm like, yeah, no, this one's a little gory for you yet. You're only 6, but I got some stuff that you can read. So I get him out, his Spider-Man 2099s and stuff like that, and he enjoys
Yeah.
reading it. And comics are great,
Yeah.
with the charity comic that I'm doing for Cat and Piggy Girl. It's fun because it gives them learning opportunities. It helps inspire them to do creative thinking because you sit and watch all these movies these days or read books. Everybody spells everything out for you.
Yeah.
Uh, there's no mystery to it. Like back
Yeah.
in the day when we watched movies or we read comics, it always left off with a cliffhanger. It left a lot of stuff open for interpretation. They didn't spell out that, hey, this is exactly what happened. They
Yeah.
made you think. That's the main thing that I'm getting to. Everything made you think.
Right.
One of the things we talk about a lot on here is Outlaw Star. It was a great anime. Cowboy Bebop's great. It had a ton of episodes, and it kind of spelled out the ending for you. But Outlaw Star was different. It just ended, and you're like, okay, is there a second season coming? Are we going to see some more of the manga get wrote out? And it's like,
Yeah.
no, this is left open for you for interpretation. And so that's what's so much fun with doing this Cat and Piggy Girl, the inspiring kids, and your daughter doing the Agents of, she's 10 years old. Kids get a hold of this. It's going to inspire them and be like, hey, maybe I can make up my own story and sit down and draw it out with my parents or draw it out myself and have fun doing it. I mean, it's not going to get published, but I can show my friends, and this is a really cool story. So I love that, not only have you inspired your daughter to get into comics and draw her own comics, but you're also publishing them for her to get them out there so people know about it. And,
Yeah.
one day it's going to be awesome because these little books are going to be worth millions. Because I foresee her being a great artist because you had donated. That's one of the things I wanted to get to is the big thing that I love about you is it's not only are you doing this Kickstarter, but you also have done in the past the matching for CB4K, which we appreciate very much. For
Yeah.
every one of these books that your daughter has wrote, you have donated and matched a copy and sent it to CB4K for them to distribute to hospitals all over. So these kids are getting these books done by then a 9-year-old girl, now a 10-year-old girl, will inspire them to maybe think about, hey, maybe I want to take up drawing while they're in the hospital, or maybe I want to take up reading comics because this is something cool. Because we don't like to admit it, but is kind of like a dying breed. Kids don't really read comics anymore, except
Yeah.
for our kids, you know, because we're into comics. And this will help spark more kids to get into comics, get hooked on comics. And I love that. And so again, I want to say thank you for not only donating the canvas pieces that your daughter painted, but for also donating, you know, agents of to comic books for kids to be able to mail those out. It's awesome to have such a supportive community of people that really truly care and want to help out. And I just want to say I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. But yeah, so
Sorry, I
that's what
didn't
we'll
mean
be
to go on
doing.
a tangent with it.
No, that's all right. Yeah, because I guess I should. I mean, it's a good segue. I guess that I should mention it. Is that yeah? So what we do and what I did in the past is we'll offer her books as a set. So when she finishes the third book for this campaign, you'll get all three books. They'll come with each with their own card, and then so however many that we sell, we will also donate that exact amount to the CB4K. So if we sell like 100, we'll send 100 to CB4K. And of course, also if like people want to, pledge for it, then they could tell me, say like if you ordered 10, just to throw out a number, say you ordered 10, and pledge for 10, and then you would say, okay, I want five, but you could send the other five to the charity. We can do that too. All you got to do is just let me know. So yeah, it's because I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of money, so it's kind of difficult for me to just donate money or spend money and stuff. So I figured, well, this might be a good way, but it might also be a better way. Like you're saying, it's as if a kid sees this, it's not just you're giving the charity money, which is obviously perfectly fine. But if they actually see this and they say, like, wow, this is actually made by a kid. And I think maybe I need to make that more obvious when we do the books the next time, is maybe to put my daughter's face on it, or to have a message from her to say, hey, I'm Matilda, I made this book, I'm a kid. And then maybe that could be more clear to the kids when they read it. uh, but yeah, so I think like actually having the books and everything could be great for these kids. And
Yeah,
it's
it's a huge inspiration, you know, and you know, I love that you're gonna do the matching again. And guys, you know, in the previous Kickstarters, these have been way affordable. I mean, what are they gonna be on this for 1 through 3? What is
I
your
think it'll only be like $2 each, so I
so they're
think
gonna be
we'll
two
take
bucks
like
each. So for
$6.
$6, you can donate a complete set of 1 through 3. You could pledge it. You could do 5 add-ons and just say, "Hey, I don't want these. I don't have kids." Donate them to CB4K, and you know, so you buy 5 of them. He's gonna match 5 of them and send those off. So that's 10 sets of 3 books that are gonna go off to kids in hospitals and cancer centers nationwide. So it's an awesome endeavor that Michael has taken on. You know, you reached out and you contacted me, asked me about the charity, and we talked about it. And you know, we did this in the past. And you know, I got you in touch with Mark, which is the owner, and he was like, "Hey, this is cool. You know, do it." So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I
And
talked
so
on the phone to him too for a while. He was like, I sent him an email after you gave me his email address. I sent him an email, and he was like, "Hey, can you give me a call?" I was like, "Okay." Um, so I talked to him on the phone because he was, I guess he's kind of like old school. He liked to actually
yeah,
talk to people, and it was great talking to him. He seems like a really great guy, and he's like, he's a champion, and
yeah. And
so
that's
it
what I
was
love about him.
great.
He's old school. You know, you send him an email and he's like, "Hey, we'll chat later this week." You know, and you know he sends me a message, "Hey, you busy?" And I'm like, "No." So I call him up and we chat for 10 or 15 minutes. I update him on how things are going with the auctions and you know how things are going with the T-shirts that are available on the website. Which, if you guys are watching this back, or for the new people that are watching, I do offer the official T-shirts on my website at zenonanititan.com, which is available at the top of my page. But Mark's a great guy, so you know that's why I kind of put this project together secretly with Cat and Piggy Girl, and I just told him a little over a week ago. I'm like, I called him up. I'm like, hey, so I got this plan in motion. I wrote this book. It's already edited. It's at the illustrator, and after that, it's going to go to the letterer. The cover's already done. This thing's ready to go to print. We're gonna print 100. We're gonna sell them. We're gonna use the money we make off of selling that 100 copies to print 1,000 that I'm gonna be sending to you to send out to these hospitals and cancer centers everywhere. And he's like, what? And I was like, he's like, man, you do too much work. And I'm like, dude, there's no such thing as too much work. It's charity. My son's had 2 open heart surgeries. He's received, so much stuff from people that have donated stuff to the hospital. And it really does help the kids. I see it firsthand. So what Michael does, what Mark does, what I'm doing, guys, please don't take it lightly. It makes a huge difference. If you've got the extra money, say, you pledge the base tier for Gun Engine Zero when it launches next month or in April, please remember there's these books, The Agents of and that every single one of these that you back, that you pledge for, Michael's going to match it and send it. And you can buy as many as you want. You want to buy, so $6, you want to buy 10 of them for $60, you're going to send 20 sets, 60 books to hospitals and cancer centers nationwide where these kids can see the inspiration of what this 9-year-old has accomplished now 10-year-old has accomplished working with her dad and enjoying comics, together. And maybe, it'll get these kids into comics and maybe they'll find out, hey, their dad used to be in comics and then he's going to pick up the habit again and buy a whole bunch of them. So tell us a little bit, let's segue off of this. We've been talking for a bit. So tell us about 6/8, which will also be available on the campaign.
Yeah, so that is the horror comic. It's a supernatural horror comic that I did. That was actually the very first comic book that I sat down and had done. I think it was way back in 2013 or something. And it just started as like I just had an idea. Let me just do like a one shot comic and just see what can be done with it. So I did that and I put it up on Comixology and it sat there for a long time. And I got some good reviews from it. There was a website called Comic Central where they had like every year they would have kind of like these awards and they would take industry professionals and they would, segments and they would say like, this is the best horror book, this is the best superhero book, this is the best whatever. And that year is 2018. They had Charlie Adler, who is the artist from The Walking Dead. He chose 6/8 as the best horror comic of 2018 from the books that were on the Comic Central website. So I was really shocked by that. I was like, I didn't even know that they were doing this thing at the time. I just put the book up on their website, and then they sent me an email and said, "Hey, your book won best horror comic." And then I actually talked to him on at the time I was on Twitter. I talked to him, and I got his. They sent me like his notes from it about everything, so I could use that on as like a review on the back of the book and everything. So that
That's
was really
awesome.
cool. I was like, a lot of people who read it like really really like it. But
Well, I'm gonna tell
as,
you this, guys. 6/8's awesome, and I'm gonna tell you, like in the first few pages, you're gonna get this image burned in your mind of like this body that's just been exploded all over the walls. It's blood and gore. So yes, it is not kid friendly. This is a mature horror book. It's awesome. You guys definitely need to pick this up as an add-on. It's definitely gory. It's
yeah,
definitely
well, that's
creepy.
the other reason why I wanted to do Gun Engine Zero is because all the books I've done prior are very mature, and so I
Yeah.
was like, man, I need something that I can
That's
show
silly,
the
that's
kids and
fun, that
stuff.
goes back to the old days of
Yeah,
Voltron and Power
yeah,
Rangers. You got these mechs walking around because that's why I'm so excited about Gun Engine Zero. I'm like obsessed with mechs. It's like Gundam suit, and then you've got my favorite movie growing up was Robot Jocks. Sorry, I had a brain fart.
yeah,
Robot Jocks, and then it was Crash and Burn. Or no, it was Robot Jocks, Robot Wars, and then Crash and Burn, which was the final uh, movie, which I managed to find a VHS because it was like one of the hardest movies to find ever, and I had to pay a pretty penny for it. But I finally got to watch it, and I just was obsessed with robots fighting each other. And so, I got this Gun Engine Zero ash can. It was the first thing that I pulled out when I got the package from you from Book of Legend and I was
yeah.
like, oh man, I gotta check this out. I love it too because it's black and white. It's old school. I'm a huge fan of ash cans. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. I probably have like 800 ash cans. I got
Jeez.
probably like 20 or 30 graded. They're Vampirella ash cans, of course. I mean, what else would they be? But I was super excited to tear into it. I loved it, and that's another thing that you're including in with this is the black and white ash can that people can pick up with
Yeah.
the Gun Engine Zero, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
So
So
the
you're
one
still
the one
offering
you
it.
got is just a preview, so it's the first 6 pages that that I could afford to do. But when we actually do the full book, one of the things it will be the ashcan of the entire book in black and white, and like a just printed at home kind of thing. Figured it's I have seen other people on like different campaigns. Like a lot of people seem to like ashcan, so I was like, you know what, that's 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 probably something. It's not difficult for me to do, and I
Yeah.
think it'd be a cool little extra thing to offer to people. So yeah, we'll have that on.
Well, and I'm glad I mentioned it too because I didn't know that what I had was a preview. I thought you were still offering the preview one. I knew the one I had was a preview, is what I meant to say. I didn't know the one that you were offering was not the preview. So it's going to be the full book, Ashby.
Yeah,
Now that's awesome.
yeah. This is going to be the entire book as an ashcan.
That's great. It's
So
still in black and white, which is awesome.
little, yeah. Oh, this is kind of like, so I just print out like kind of like a test. So it'll be like that, and I changed the trade dress a little bit, so the cover won't be. It'll be like this. This is the cover, the main standard cover. Then you got the title, but I changed like the Rainy Road logo, and I'll have that over here somewhere, whatever. Um, but it'll be kind of like that, and that'll be the back cover and all that kind of stuff. So, but I still gotta. I'll have to do like the inside and stuff. But
So tell us a little
yeah.
bit about Neotheric, which is
Oh,
another book you're going to be offering.
Neotheric. Okay, so Neotheric is intended to be an ongoing series, and we might actually be able to continue it this year with another artist. So basically, what it is anthropomorphic dinosaurs that have come back to modern day Earth, and they just fuck shit up. So it's basically, so that's kind of like the general. That's the
Yeah,
elevator
and
pitch.
it's the truth, guys. I've read it. I have Neotheric. I picked up the full kit and caboodle with book and legend. I'm like, I gotta check all this stuff out because I mean I did do a review show on it too. So if you guys want to go back and check out the review show, uh, you can find it in my YouTube or in Facebook. And he's not joking around when these anthropomorphic dinosaurs come back to Earth and fuck shit up because it's awesome.
Yeah. So basically, the concept, the plot is that dinosaurs did not go extinct. They're actually used by aliens and in the service of this cosmic being as biological terraformers. So it's kind of like Noah's Ark. They take all these dinosaurs on the spaceships and they go from planet to planet. And when a planet is young and it's just starting to form, it's very hostile to the evolution or the production of new life forms and like plants and vegetation, all this kind of stuff. So that's what the dinosaurs are there for. Like the big dinosaurs are the earth movers, they stamp down the ground so that plants, vegetables, all this kind of thing can grow. And that's what they do. And so, like, each dinosaur has a specific role in the herd. So, like I was saying, like the big ones, that the earth movers, the T Rex is kind of like he culls the weak. So he's kind of like helping with the evolution of life. So like gets rid of the old and the weak and everything, so that what's left are the strongest, you know, versions of each species or whatever. So each dinosaur has a role, and then the idea is that like some of these dinosaurs they've evolved over millions of years, and they're not exactly like what the fossils that we have. So like the T Rex is only like 9 feet tall now; he's not 18 or 20 feet tall, and they can speak English. And there's a reason for that that we will reveal later on. But they want to be free. So they learn is like, I don't want to be a slave no more. I want to be free. So they escape. And there's a reason why they want it. There's a specific reason why they want to escape. So all of these things, there's all these little subplots and everything that are going through the whole story. And
Viva la revolution!
yeah. So so they escape, and They go to one of their former home worlds, which is Earth. And so when they crash land, and then just all hell breaks loose because obviously people on Earth don't know what they are, and they're still just dinosaurs. They're fucking dinosaurs. They fuck shit up. They're not gonna like come talk to you and be nice to you, and they just rip you apart and say, "Who the fuck are you?" And just, um, yeah. So the first four issues is basically like the first 24 hours after they crash land, and the National Guard shows up with there's a secret, there's not secret, but there's a government agency called the National Police Task Force, and they're in charge of everything. It's sort of like Homeland Security kind of thing. And so they come and try to investigate, and then all hell breaks loose and all this kind of stuff. And the cosmic being with the aliens, they sent another sort of like bounty hunter, cosmic bounty hunter, down to get them back, because the whole idea is that they need the status quo. So like the dinosaurs have broken the status quo of the universe. It's like you have a role. This is what you're supposed to do, and this is what your life is supposed to be. And they've broken that. And then so this guy who's the cosmic overseer of what everything, he's got a book, a tome, where he supposedly writes down like this is what the rules are. This is what everything is supposed to be. And they've broken that. So he's like, okay, you need to get them back, and then so we can reestablish the status quo. And so that's the central conflict of the story, is that the dinosaurs are just trying to be free, to live their own lives, to determine their own future. But everybody is coming in at them saying like, hey, what the fuck is this? Like, so as it goes on, it's gonna get even crazier. It's gonna get all kinds of weird and just nasty shit. So
I love
hopefully
it.
I'm hoping that we can keep going with this, because I know how the whole thing is going to end. I know how everything I've plotted pretty much the whole thing out, and I can get at least like 50 or 60 issues with it. But you know, obviously we need to get some support for it. Uh, but yeah, I've got big things planned for
Smell another review coming along, because maybe I'll have to do like a live reading of like the first issue in the trade, and then just be like, right, you can get the rest on the Gun Engine Zero Kickstarter. I think I'm gonna
it.
have to do that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that would
guys,
be
so
awesome.
these great books will be available on there. You'll be able to get Agents of with each pledge to Agents of will be matched to CB4K. I want to reiterate that. You can buy as many as you want, and you can say, hey, I only want one of these because I'm going to give it to my grandkid, but the other 5 that I pledged, you can send to CB4K. So then they're going to get 11 copies, because there's going to be 6 matched plus the 5 that you're given. So that's 11 copies going to the kids of 3 of these great comics written by a 10-year-old, drawn by a 10-year-old. And the first issue is absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, I missed the Indiegogo where I could get the second issue. So I'm going to have to catch it on this Kickstarter and get all 3 of them again. And you also will get 6-8, which is a horror thriller. Trust me, guys, it's going to blow your mind. You get this image. I still haven't just burned, ingrained in my mind of this body exploded all over bathroom walls. It's pretty insane. Happens
Yeah,
first thing
that
in the
I
morning.
also want to also continue that as well. Because like what I
Yeah,
was saying before is that it was only supposed to be a one shot, but when the artist was doing the art for it, I thought about it. I was like, yeah, there's more to this that I could tell, more stories I could tell with these characters, because there has to be repercussions for everything. And then, so what I was planning on doing is doing like mini series that would kind of jump in time. So like the first issue is when the girl in the story is like 12 years old, and the next mini series, it will be 4 issues, and it will be when she's like 16 years old. And then the next one will be when she's like 20 something years old. And then the next one will be when she, so it'll follow the characters through their whole life to see how this one
plays
night, this
out.
one event like affected their whole life. So hopefully I can keep doing that one as well.
Yeah, so you can get 6-8 available on there. You can get Neotheric available on there, and you can get Gun Engine Zero along with the full book Ashcan in black and white. And all of this great stuff will be live here in the next month or so. We're definitely going to keep pushing this project. And we'll probably have to get you in on a blast cast on Saturday where we get crazy and talk about really insane stuff. And we got a whole panel of people. We can bring up the project. We usually have like, between 20 or 30 people in the audience. We can go through the project. We can go through the preview. There's the word I was looking for. We can go through the project preview. We can see what everybody thinks about as far as the consensus goes, what kind of ideas we can pull out. And we can do that. I do it every Saturday. So, if you want to book this Saturday or next Saturday, or the ones come up, we can definitely do that. It'll be a good way to set up a panel and, kind of tear things apart and give suggestions and have a good conversation about it because we can show it on screen. But I'm going to give you the full screen. We're going to call it a night. We were able to talk about everything that you're going to have available on the Kickstarter. We've got the link in there, so you can check out everybody in the audience. Sunday's usually kind of a slow day. We get a lot more playback on Monday, where people go back and watch it. So please, please, please click that link, check it out, and give your suggestions. Message Michael directly and just say, "Hey, I looked over the preview, and this is something that I think you should do." Let's give some ideas so he can take all this stuff and throw it in the hat and see what the general consensus is on each thing. Take the majority vote and do that because we want to make this project successful. We want Michael to be able to fund this and then be able to go back and say, "Hey, I'm going to do issue 2 of 6-8. Now I'm going to do the next installment for Neotheric. Oh, hey guys, we're going to issue 2 of Gun Zero." And maybe do a rotation throughout the next several years and get these stories rolling. So I'm gonna give you the full screen. I'm gonna give you a chance to give everyone the elevator pitch once again for what Gun Zero is about, and you can tell everyone where you can find them. They can find you.
Sure, thanks. I appreciate it. All right, so Gun Engine Zero, again, this is sort of like my homage to 70s and 80s sci-fi, superhero sci-fi. Mostly the Japanese stuff, but the original inspiration was ROM. There's also little elements of Tron and stuff like that. And also the tone is, what tone that I wanted to get with it is kind of similar to the movies of that era. So like Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Goonies, all these kinds of things. So there's going to be action, there's going to be adventure, there's going to be humor, there's going to be melodrama, there's going to be heartbreak, all this kind of stuff. It's a roller coaster ride of a story, and it's going to be 7 issues at least. I'm already on the 6th issue. This working on the script for the 6th issue. We've got the first 6 pages of the first issue up there on the preview campaign. So you can check that out. You see the artist by Ian Morianto and Anton Bandy. I think they're perfect for a perfect match for this story. And it's classic, sci-fi, hero, aliens, um, insidious aliens infesting this town, and this, hero from outer space comes to save the world. So I think it's going to be a great story, and we definitely need your help to get it done. Um, you can check me out at rainyroadmedia.com. That's my website where you can. There's links to the books that I have. There's links to, I've got a Substack where I talk about all the stuff that I've done in the production of this story and all the other stories. There's some exclusive, like behind the scenes artwork and things. You can check that out. I'm on Facebook, Rainy Road Comics. I'm on Instagram. But all of those links and things are in my website if you wanted to check that out. So I would definitely appreciate it if, like right now, it's just a preview, so you can give your comments and suggestions for what you'd like to see, or maybe what I have in there that you don't like, what you'd like to see, different things. Definitely want people's feedback, and hopefully everybody, we can get this thing done, and you can all get it in your hands.
Absolutely, and you guys, if you can't wait to check it out, please visit. We got the website in there on all 3 platforms where we're live right now. So Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Guys, go check out the website and also go check out the Facebook page. Go give it a like and a follow so you can follow all the events that are going on. And if you can't wait to read Neotheric or 6-8 or Book of Legend, you can go here and you can get it now. Or you can wait until the Kickstarter and you can help get that bad boy funded. Either way, make it
Either way, it's
happen.
fine with
Check out
me.
these awesome books. Give them
They're on
some love.
Amazon right now. You can get them right now, but if you want to wait, that's okay. It doesn't matter. It all comes to me. They're all sitting on the shelf right back there behind me.
That's right. So I'm going to take you back to the green stage for a minute, and I'll be right back. Thanks for being on.
Peace.
So, guys, thanks so much for checking out the show. If you're watching this back, thank you very much for supporting this. Guys, please keep this in mind. Check out all these links. Go to the preview link. See what you like about the project. See what you don't like. Send them a message. Let them know, hey, I'd like to see this, or maybe this would be a good idea. And that way he can write all these ideas down, put a check next to him for each person that suggests it, and find out what the big things people are looking for. Because as a creator, this really helps. Please share the project when it goes live. Please back it for $1 if you can, so the people that are following you will also see the project, because it sends them a message saying, hey, Rust Explode Studios just backed Gun Engine Zero. And then you can say, what is Gun Engine Zero? And then you'll look at it. Or last but not least, please back it if you can. Give it some love. Check out all the cool stuff that he has to offer. He's got back issues of his other series. And also remember, there's the matching with Agents of So, everyone, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for hanging out. As always, this is Rust Explode Studios with projects that'll blow your mind. You guys have a great night and a great rest of your week. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Gotta find the outro. Fire.